Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Office Boy Builder here. So part 2 of the plastering of the hallway, having stripped it all off. And I now need to frame out this. And I've got some C16. I haven't actually used C16 anywhere else in this build. I've always used C24. But I needed to buy some new timber for this part because I didn't have any 4x2s left. And this stuff is so good in terms of how flat and straight and nice it is. So that was good. Got a bit of that, which is fine. Got some more sheets of plasterboard, 12.5mm, same as the rest. And I was having a think about it. I am actually going to carry on with the expanding foam to get this up on the board, get the boards up on the wall here. I've marked out on my base plate here, the sole plate, I've marked out where I'm going to have my my uprights, my studs, and I mean one sheet of plasterboard will span from here right the way over and end up on the brick, so that'll be screwed in and then have expanding foam on that side. And this I'm going to do in pink board, fireboard. I've got a sheet of fireboard, so I'll be doing it here, so this whole corner will be wrapped in fireboard. Once I've put the posts in and all that sort of stuff, that's the header actually, that one there. Once I put those in, I'm going to be insulating. I'm going to tuck insulation in the other side of that window and fill the whole thing out. So there is just no problem with that. So yeah, that's it pretty much. I'm going to stick you on a time lapse again probably. You'll see what I'm doing, and I'll perhaps talk you through what I'm doing as well if I get to a point where there's something I need to explain or show you. But in the meantime, I will be putting you on time lapse and yeah, cracking on. Okay, I don't know whether that was as awkward for you guys to watch as it was for me to do it, but yeah, the height of those stairs going down is very far from the top of that bit there, so that was really awkward, hence all the kind of ballerina actions to try and get up and in. But it's square, I used my square, they're level, they're plumb, I'm very happy with all of that, and it's insulated behind the glass, double layer in front of the glass, so that's good, I'm happy with that. Just a point of interest, check out these measurements. So 1032, 1035, 1040. That is the height of these upright studs. And you can see obviously get lower and higher here. But I haven't touched this beam. It was installed, when the house was built. And you can see there, none of the mortar has cracked or dropped out of here. So it's not like when I cut this thing out and put this in. I mean, when I installed this beam, I cut it 1/2 centimetre too long and pounded it in with a club hammer. And well, actually it was a club axe, it was a pole axe. And you can see how much force I had to use to get this thing in and then plumb it up. That's a 12x3, so super solid. And then I cut the end of it off. So there was never any opportunity for this thing to drop down. If anything, I've nudged it up a bit. And it still isn't level because they didn't install it level. So this whole wall, this whole thing must have been, I don't know whether they started building at this end of the street and worked their way down that way, but ours is the second to last house on the street, so possibly not. I don't know what the construction is like further down the road, but banana walls and wonky bits and everything. It's just how old houses are. But that's all done. I will probably pause here for the night. The video will carry on, but it might be that I pick this up tomorrow or the day after and get all of that done, because it's dinner time now and the kids are going to be going to bed after that. So yeah, that's where we are. That's where we're up to. Right. I've done a tiny little segment here that was actually the offcut of this sheet here. I just flipped it upside down, put it on. That's nice and level and flat, which is great. What I think I'm actually going to do, because I've got quite a large area here that is going to be kind of patchworked, I don't want to get this too wrong, and all of this needs to get covered in the pink stuff, or I want to cover it in the pink stuff. I don't know actually whether it needs to, but I am. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to do it all in one big sheet of pink, and I can obviously screw it in at these points where the timbers are, and I've drawn up a little map and I've marked it on the sheet. I'll show you that in a second. What I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to spray expanding foam down here where the wall is curved. After this point here, it actually becomes really quite level and to a certain extent plumb. Not completely, but it's actually not that far off. And I made sure that I leveled this and plumbed this when I installed it. So all across here is pretty good upwards. It's down here that it's quite bad, all the way down to this point here where the stringer meets the wall. I'll come down here, I'll show you this. You can see the gap here. I mean, that's almost a whole knuckle worth of gap at that point. So it's at this point here that I really want and need the expanding foam. Further up, it's pretty consistent and nice and tight, and I did this the whole way up, the same kind of depth between here and the edge of this. So it kind of needs to come out and flare out a little bit. The other problem is the pink sheets weigh a lot. They're much, much heavier than the grey sheets. And I'm going to have part with expanding foam up there and maybe a little bit of expanding foam to grip it up there and then screwing it in. So this is going to be really fun, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. Sort of, not really. Anyway, on here you'll see, hopefully, that I have drawn basically marks exactly where the timbers are, and that way I won't have any shenanigans when I'm trying to screw it in. So I just got the back of an envelope, literally measured it and marked it, and then I've just transferred those onto here. So yeah, there'll probably be expanding foam on this section down here, and then, you know, there's not a vast amount above it that doesn't have it, so I can screw this in and maybe stick the gun nozzle down here and put some expanding foam in from the top and shoot it down. But it's supporting this edge here when it's floating up there. That's going to be the bit that I'm not looking forward to. But I'm going to make sure I have all the screws ready, and then as soon as you get one screw in, if I gently place this corner on the stringer here, and I just get one screw in, or you know, in here or up in there, as soon as you've done that, it will hold. That's what I'm going to wrestle with now, and I'll probably have my wife on standby to help chuck stuff at me if I need it. I'm going to stick you on a time lapse for this. I ended up spraying all of this down here, but actually didn't need it there. I'm going to leave it though, because it will help bring out some of the depth of the wall when I do the next load. I always go tight on the edges, so I fill the edges up as much as I can. With this is now hard, so what I'll then do is come along here with this. Couple of passes like that, and just pop it off. Keeps it nice and tight along here, but means that I can butt a board up. If you leave it, you obviously can't get the other board in, so I'll go around and do that the whole way around, like that, scrape it all back. I'm using the ladder here, nice and tightly wedged up in there. Gets me all the way up, meant that I could secure the top there. Having this drawn on was really handy. The only problem I made was I drew the line on this side rather than drawing the line on this side, but I soon realised when they weren't going in. So that's fine. That's now nice and solid and secure. That's not going anywhere. So now what I've got is a long, thin channel that runs the whole way up here. If I split a board in half, I'll still have excess left over, which is good. Got a small triangular section there, so I can run that up. That'll be a whole board plus a little bit. And then I've got this section up here to do as well, which is a whole board minus a little bit cut out of it there. So we're in good shape. Things are coming together nicely. Hopefully should have this done by the end of the day, or maybe tomorrow, because it's getting a bit later in the day now, so getting there. I'll probably stick you back on time lapse now, just while I won't show you my getting all this off, that's a bit dull, but getting the next one up as well, I will. I'm not time-lapsing all of this. It's possibly a little bit dull, I would wager, but slowly working my way up. You saw me put that top one in. I've done some points here, so I've just got a big triangle there to do and a big rectangle there. I'm really hopeful that I can get it all out of one sheet. I have some offcuts there, and I do have two sheets. But I don't really want to cut into one if I can avoid it, because I'll be taking a big old triangle out of one bit and a big old chunk out of another. So hopefully I can get it out of one, but we will see. I'll prioritize the rectangle first and then see what I've got left to make up the triangle between those pieces there. There's a little strip at the top up there, but I know I can get it out of that. So it's all good. I mean, this method is so good. You know, it's really, really smooth and even on here. You know, I'm really impressed. It's nice and easy, nice and quick. So yeah, that's cool. And also, new radiators have arrived. Install these, which will be really good. Happy going around the whole house and doing all of them. So this chunky one here is going to be replacing that wafer thin skin of a radiator, which will really help keep us warm for the winter. But anyway, for now, back to the plasterboard. So I'm going to wrap the video up here. You can see the pink versus the grey stuff, and this pink board wraps the whole way around, or the whole way around the corner here where I have the 3x12, the 12x3 that is supporting this portion of the house, plus the framing out that I did in the timber there. You can see where I've screwed it all in, and then I've done the adhesive the whole way around. Hopefully this video has been useful, helpful, enjoyable, instructional for you. It's a slightly different one. I have never done this before, and I actually really like the method. It does have some downsides, as I've outlined earlier in the video when I was doing these bits down here and I was sat down there on the stairs kind of holding it in. Once you get used to working with it though, it does come a lot more naturally and quite quickly, and you get used to doing it. So that's great. I'm pleased with how that's come about. And yeah, I'm going to wrap the video here. Hopefully either in the next video or very, very soon. I have now measured and ordered the staircase that's going to be going up here into the loft. So that's going to be a two-parter, maybe even a three-part series actually. I'm going to talk to you about how you measure the stairs for a loft and for a stair conversion, you know, installing a staircase for a loft conversion. I'm going to be talking you through all of that, how to do it step by step, and also looking at, you know, some businesses that provide the staircases and how you measure to install those. So if you're a DIYer, you definitely want to jump on that. If you're having a loft conversion done, then this can be quite a useful way to either save some money by ordering your own staircase, and you can measure that, or speak to your builder and ask them to potentially use the business that I've found that is really very good. So stick around for that. That'll be coming up on the channel. There's still lots more for us to do in the house, as you can see. So if this is your first time here with us, please do like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon, all of that good stuff. And if you've really enjoyed it and you want to chuck us a super thanks and buy me a cup of coffee or support me on Patreon, please do check the description below and you'll find all the details there. Until next time, enjoy yourselves, stay safe, and I will see you on the next video.